It was supposed to be the year of the bull, the year of institutional adoption, of mainstream acceptance, the year the rocket finally reached the moon. Every analyst, every influencer, every degen on the internet pointed towards an unprecedented explosion in value. The halving was behind us, the ETFs were approved, the stage was set for a glorious, face-melting bull run. And for a moment, it seemed like they were right. We saw glimpses of it, didn't we? A new all-time high here, a 100x on a meme coin there. The scent of victory was in the air. But then, something strange started to happen. The market began to behave in ways that defied all logic, all precedent, all hope. It felt less like a market and more like a carefully orchestrated psychological experiment designed to break even the most hardened believers. We started to ask ourselves a difficult question, a question whispered in private discords and screamed in frustrated tweets. Do we even deserve this bull run? Let's start with the big one, rate cuts. For months, this was the holy grail. The Federal Reserve, the ultimate puppet master of the financial world, was poised to lower interest rates. Cheaper money, a weaker dollar, it was the perfect fuel for risk assets like crypto. The market priced it in, held its breath, and waited. Then the whispers began. Maybe not in June, maybe in September. The anticipation built, and every hint of a cut sent a ripple of green through the charts. But when the official word came, no cut yet, but soon the market didn't just stay flat. It dumped. It was our first major clue that the old rules no longer applied. The market had been promised a feast, and when it was told the feast was merely delayed, it threw the entire table over in a fit of rage. The good news, the inevitable good news, had become a catalyst for a sell-off. Then came the geopolitical theater, tariffs. A word that sends shivers down the spine of the global economy. The United States announced increased tariffs on Chinese goods. In a traditional market, this kind of uncertainty would send investors fleeing from volatile assets like crypto into the perceived safety of bonds or gold. In true to form, the market reacted precisely as you'd expect. Billions were wiped out in hours, as the algorithm bots and panicked retail traders hit the sell button in unison. It was a painful but understandable reaction to global economic instability. We licked our wounds, consolidated, and told ourselves, this is normal. This is how markets work. But here's where the script got flipped, where the story veered into the absurd. Weeks later, headlines flashed across our screens once more. A breakthrough, a desescalation. The United States announced it would be decreasing some of those very same tariffs. This was unequivocally good news, a sign of stability returning, of global trade tensions easing. By every textbook definition, this should have been a green light for risk-on assets. The market should have soared. So what did it do? It dumped hard. It was a move so counterintuitive, so utterly nonsensical, that it left everyone speechless. It was as if the market was a petulant child, refusing to be happy no matter what you gave it. We offered it stability, and it threw it back in our faces. Logic was gone, replaced by a kind of stubborn, self-destructive nihilism. At this point, the pattern became undeniable. Any piece of positive economic data that came out, news that would have sent the S&P 500 into a euphoric rally, was met with a brutal sell-off in the crypto space. Positive jobs report? It means the Fed has no reason to cut rates. Dump. Inflation coming down, but not as fast as predicted. It means the economy is too strong for its own good. Dump. A major corporation announcing a partnership with a blockchain project? A classic sell the news event? Dump. It was a relentless, soul-crushing cycle. Every glimmer of hope was immediately extinguished. It felt like we were trapped in a room where every door we opened, even the ones marked good news, led to the exact same precipice. And if there was no news, if the markets were quiet, the news cycles slow, and the world seemed to be taking a collective breath, that was perhaps the most unnerving of all. In the absence of any catalyst, in the vacuum of information, the market would just bleed. A slow, agonizing drip. It would drift downwards, slowly but surely, as if gravity itself was pulling the prices back to earth. There was no panic, no major event to blame. Just a quiet, creeping sense of despair as portfolios withered away for no discernible reason. It was the digital equivalent of watching a plant die from neglect. No news, it turned out, was just a slower, more painful way to dump. This brought us to the grand finale, the coup de grace. Bad news. And I don't just mean slightly disappointing inflation numbers. I mean real, tangible, catastrophic bad news. A major exchange hacked. A government announcing a full-scale crypto ban. A core developer of a major project being investigated for fraud. These were the black swan events, the nightmare scenarios that we all feared. And when they happened, the market didn't just dump. It was a super dump. A cataclysmic, generational, is this the end of crypto? Kind of dump. It was a waterfall of red that erased months of gains in a matter of minutes. The leverage was wiped out, the liquidations cascaded, and the cries of the fallen echoed across every social media platform. It was the ultimate confirmation of our fears. The market was not just broken, it was actively hostile. It punished good news, it punished no news, and it absolutely annihilated us for bad news. There was no winning scenario, so we have to look in the mirror and ask the question again. Do we deserve this bull run? Maybe the market's irrationality is just a reflection of our own. We demand institutional money, but then rage when they play by their own institutional rules, selling the news and securing profits. We champion decentralization, but then hang on every word from a handful of centralized influencers and billionaire CEOs. We talk about long-term technological revolution, then gamble our life savings on cartoon dog coins, hoping for a 1000x in a week. We've become a culture of entitlement, expecting infinite gains without the patience, conviction, or the fundamental understanding to truly earn them. We want the reward without the risk, the pump without the dump, the bull run without the soul-crushing bear market that forges true believers. Maybe this isn't a broken market. Maybe this is the market we've built, a schizophrenic, volatile, and utterly unforgiving reflection of our own collective greed and impatience. Maybe this period of pain, this relentless dumping in the face of all logic, isn't the market cheating us? Maybe it's the market testing us. It's shaking out the tourists, the gamblers, and the get-rich-quick schemers. It's forging a bottom not on a chart, but in the very soul of the community. It's forcing us to remember why we got into this space in the first place, for the technology, for the sovereignty, for the hope of a different kind of future. Perhaps the bull run we thought we wanted, the easy, straight-up rocket to infinity, was never the one we were going to get. Perhaps we don't deserve that one. But the one that comes after this trial by fire? The one that is born from the ashes of this confusion and despair? The one that is built on a foundation of hardened survivors who held on not because of greed, but because of belief? That bull run? Maybe, just maybe, that's the one we truly deserve. And it will be all the more glorious because of the hell we walked through to get there.